People told me to let go of my worry because there was nothing I could do. Put it out of your mind. I never could. I finally learned to do the hard work it took to put in perspective. But it does not help anyone. The addict, the rest of the family, you, when it becomes the only thing in one's life. So my advice? Do whatever it takes. Therapy, Al-Anon, lots of Al-Anon, for you to contain it. And be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Be easy on yourself and extra loving toward your spouse or partner. Do not keep secrets. As they often repeat in AA, you're as sick as your secrets. Though it is not a solution, openness is a relief. Our shared stories help us remember what we're dealing with. Addicts need ongoing reminders and support, and so do their families. It also helps to read others' stories. And it helps to write. At least it did for me. As I said, I wrote frantically. I wrote in the middle of the night and made it to morning. If I were a painter like Karen, I would have painted what I was going through. She often did. I wrote. I am no longer preoccupied with Nick. This could change, but at the moment I accept and even appreciate that he is living his life his way. Of course, I will always hope that he stays sober. I hope that our relationship continues to heal, knowing that this can happen only if and while he is sober. Where has my worry gone? I have a mental image of it. The artist Chuck Close once said, I get overwhelmed by the whole. He learned to break down images into a grid of small, manageable squares. Painting one square at a time, he creates mesmerizing wall-sized portraits. I was often overwhelmed by the whole too. But I learned to contain my worry about Nick in a square or two of the grid that would be there if Close were to paint my life. I check them once in a while. When I do, I feel an entire range of emotions, but they do not overwhelm me. Sometimes I still freak myself out about the future, but far less than I used to. I'm better about taking it one day at a time. It may sound simplistic, but it's as profound as any concept I know. I still worry what will happen to Nick in 5 years. In 10. To Jasper and Daisy for that matter. But then I return to today. Today. It is June, Daisy's birthday. She is 10 today. 10. It's also a step-up day. Daisy stepping up to 5th grade, Jasper to 7th. Their graduation song this year is I Believe in Love, with verses written by the children with the help of their teachers. The World Beat Band plays. 4th grade was the door, sings Daisy and her friends, and knowledge was the key. The fiesta was fantastica. We sang in harmony, Gold Country and Alone Days kept us in the groove. 4th grade time is over. We're 5th graders now on the move. I believe in music, I believe in love. Jasper's grade stands, and the children sing their verse. 6th grade was hecka gnarly. The Angel Island trip kinda scarred me. Ancient Egypt, China, and Greek philosophies, and nothing really rhymes with Mesopotamia. I believe in music, I believe in love. In the evening, our weekly dinner at Nancy and Dawn's is devoted to celebrating the kids' graduation, Nancy's and Daisy's birthdays, and my anniversary. It has been exactly a year since my brain hemorrhage. The kids are at the kitchen table playing Chinese checkers with Nancy, who is losing and not taking it well. That's not fair, she huffs when Jasper wins. Jasper and Daisy and their cousin drag out an old piano dolly tied to a long rope. They take turns pulling one another on it, almost as if they were water skiing. The rider goes careening around the living room. In the kitchen, Nancy tosses a handful of chopped shallots into a skillet of melted butter. When they're crispy and brown, she adds red wine vinegar. After stirring, she leaves the sauce in to simmer on the range and goes onto the deck. Looking up into the trees, she makes a funny bird call. Crows and jays come down for crackers. Don climbs up the path from the garden where he has been watering. He wears a pocket radio and earphones. The kids charge into the kitchen, trailed by the pack of barking dogs, including Brutus, who makes his slow way behind the others. Nancy made a leg of lamb with the vinegar and shallot sauce and white beans with kale, fresh thyme, and garlic. Karen's brother carves. For dessert, her sister made a lemony cake with pale pink and blue icing, and tiny monkeys, elephants, and bears with candles in them. We sing happy birthday to Daisy and Nancy, who blow out the candles. Afterward, Jasper, sitting next to me at the table, says, "I can't believe it's summer." Summer. Surfing in Santa Cruz. We are here with our dear friends on a quiet day at the Hook at Pleasure Point. The waves are small, and most of the hardcore locals have stayed home. But the silky, gently peeling sets are perfect for the children. The water is clear and warm. Sitting on my board awaiting the next set, I take a moment to survey the grid inside my head until I reach the squares in which Nick resides. He and I spent so much time here together. On the drive home up the coast, Jasper chooses a CD. Like his older brother when he was younger, Jasper's favorite musician of the moment is Beck, and he hands me Midnight Vultures to slide into the player. The car is sandy, and we are all sandy and salty, and the sea air rushes in the open windows, and Beck is singing. Jasper and I, along with him. Daisy complains, telling us to turn it down. I look out to the blue ocean. Feel Nick so strongly. At home, Jasper is sitting on the deck with Daisy, consoling her. She's upset because she watched a video about global warming. I feel like I'm standing against a wall and a giant monster is coming slowly toward me and I want to stop it, but I can't, she says. She's actually teary. I want to fly up there and sew a patch on the ozone layer. If that wasn't enough, she also overheard that Pluto is no longer considered a planet. The poor little nugget, she says, wiping a tear. But soon she pushes aside her sadness about Earth and Pluto, and Jasper is directing her and himself in the play they wrote called Queen Mean. I am in my office writing when an email arrives from Nick's girlfriend. She has attached some photos from their recent road trip. Nick, his hair longer, wears big sunglasses, a newsboy cap, a black t-shirt, and bell-bottoms. He stands by a river. He's in front of a geyser at Yellowstone National Park. He smiles, a joyful smile. In the morning, the garden is swathed in a lacy fog. Karen got up early to drive Daisy to swim practice. Jasper is upstairs, noodling on the guitar. I call Nick to say hi. We talk a while. He sounds like Nick, my son, back. What's next? We'll see. Before hanging up, he says, "Give Karen, Jas, and Daisy my love." Then he says he has to go.